For today, I'm going to talk about the last requirement that you guys have, and that is to complete your PowerPoint presentation. I'm scheduled the presentation to be done on May 7th, so that's 3 weeks away. And I've got listed here, there's a cute little video, Mom and Pop Kettle, it's back from the 40s, just a cute video on adding. So take a look at that when you get a chance. And then below that obviously is the rubric that I've handed out showing the 50-point breakdown for this particular part of the course. Now the overview or the rubric is worth 50 points, but guys, again, I'm not aggressive on this. I learn a lot about you as a student person through these PowerPoint presentations, so it's really it's one of my favorite days of the semester is to hear what you guys do or talk about. So that starts here, the presentation, any topic of interest. The presentation, like we said, would be on May 7th. And I'm looking for about 10 minutes for length for the presentation. Now some of you will be a little less than that. I don't time you where you have to hit 10 to get so many points. So about that point, 5 to 10, maybe a little more. Some of you will go longer as you're talking about your topic. So to start looking at how you present, right? It should be as much as you can, that's what I want to say, where you're not reading the cards, that you're actually talking to the audience. So eye contact is important. I also don't want to have you sitting here, so the chair won't be here. And if you can avoid leaning or hiding behind the screen, do the best that you can to be out in front so we can see you. And do your best. I know practice makes perfect, and you don't have a lot of opportunity to present in classrooms. So it might be a little strange to be up in front and talking to everyone. But we're all friendly people, so just think of that when you're talking. Do the best you can. Like I said, I'm not going to be too aggressive on how I grade here. I just want you to be comfortable as you can. Number of slides, I'm looking for about 9. Obviously, if it's less, it'll be a reduction. But looking for 9 slides approximately again. You can go more than 9, that's great. But remember the time limit. Because we have about 15 of us, I think. 12 to 15. So even if we do the 10 minutes, that's a couple hours. We have a 4-hour block, so we certainly will get it in. It's just that try to maintain your schedule there if you can. So the rest of these are the actual PowerPoint competencies. Hyperlink, some pictures. There is sound that you can add. Now the sound can also be, I have between slides, but it also could be found in your video. If you have a hyperlink to a video, that would count as a sound. And I'm just looking for some basic functionality of the PowerPoint program. Now, some students say, well, I don't use PowerPoint, I use some other presentation software. The problem is the school doesn't have that probably, and unless I can through cables, right? I can hook up to your computer. If you would like to use your own software, I can just plug you in and supposedly that should work. So if that is a possibility, I'd like to test it before May 7th if you're interested in doing some other presentation software. We'll talk about these competencies shortly. I just want to go through them a little bit. On your slides, remember you're in a classroom, you're not at a computer screen, so font size is important and not to be too wordy. It should just be like a discussion topic basically shown, and then you go from there and talk about it. And that's why the topic of interest, if you find something that you like to do outside of school or plan what your future will be, most people like to talk about themselves, so that's why I'm doing it that way. And then backgrounds for the slides themselves. A couple of changes. Not that I want red on one slide, yellow on the next, green, that's too distracting. I go into seizure, I think. So try to be cognizant of the, don't make it too flamboyant, right? We're accountants, so we got to kind of be somewhat subdued a little bit anyway. But at least know how to change the background colors. And I'll go through these shortly here. So my next topic, or next part, is actually I've got the PowerPoint open, the program itself. Across the top, there's the menu bar, home, insert, draw, design, transitions, animations. So if you're opening up a new program, you can pick a design or a color background type. So, and also you can insert a slide, right? And change the slide to a different format, whichever you prefer. I'm creating new slides here. Let's go back to design. And geez, this is not good. I want to change the kind of slide. You can add pictures and so forth. I don't want to do that. I want to just edit the slide background here. So if I click on it, I don't want to create a new slide. No. No. Well, do I just create a new slide? Is that the only choice I got? Maybe that is. So I'm going to delete these new ones here. So if I go to Insert, basically you can pick a slide type, title type, section header. I usually use this one here, title and content. That gives me the most flexibility, so I can add a title and then below it have my presentation. So let me do that again. I'm under the Insert tab. I'm going to create a new slide, and then you can pick the style of that slide. So, and I usually use the middle one here. To start the slideshow, I usually use the first one, which is just the title slide. So just keep that in mind as you're going through that slide selection process. I was hoping that you could edit that design, but I can't seem to find it at this point. So one of the requirements on the rubric, the first one, is number 4, the hyperlink. And what I'd like you to do is within the PowerPoint presentation, hyperlink to either a file or website that talks about your discussion topic that you're having. I can basically type a few words make the words whatever you wish to, and then basically go out to the internet I don't want that. This is what I want. Once you have a URL, like let's just say MSN, you copy this URL, highlight it, copy it, and then from within PowerPoint, you can highlight the words that you want to use as your link, go to Insert, Link, right here in the center. And it attaches to that particular word or those words that you have. Now, the hyperlink I would like you to use from the slideshow. So if I go to the slideshow from current slide, I should be able to click on the words with my left mouse, and it should take me to the web address that I want to go to. So it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy once you get your presentation to that point. If this video is not adequate enough for you, or you forget at the time of when you're doing it, just let me know and I can quickly add it, the hyperlink for you, or we can work together to do it. So that's one requirement, and then use that within the actual presentation. Graphics, you can see I have quite a few graphic pictures here. That's the next requirement. Obviously, these are way too many. Again, we don't want too many. 1 or 2 on a slide is fine. And those can be found under the Insert. You can add your own pictures, or you can go online and search for different pictures that you want to insert. So if I'm interested in, I don't know, skiing, let's just pick skiing. You can type in the word skiing, and you can basically click on a drawing and then insert it into your PowerPoint slide. So size-wise, you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, right? You can move it. I do have this where it's found. Oops, can I bring it back? Good. Trying to get it off of there. I want to get rid of these words.
There's a little thing on top of it that you can move, and once you click on it, yeah.
There we go. Now I can delete it. So right click and then cut usually gets rid of it. Once you have the slide in, or the graphic picture, you can animate it, right? You can make it do or fade in, fade out. So the animations are listed right here. And right now, I'm on this here. And I'm going to go to the animation pane. So this picture is, let me just click off. I don't have any animation on it. So I'm just going to add one here. So I'm adding a animation for this to appear. This is picture number 7. And you can also change the effect or when it happens. So I can click on it or have it start with a click. I can have it appear after another word or slide. And there are effect options. I can add a sound to this. That's possible. You can even, on this picture, the color, timing, you can have it delay, you can have it extended, depends on the picture. So there's a lot of different choices here. and just kind of play around with it. And again, if you have a question that's not doing what you want it to do, just let me know and we can certainly work through it. The animation choices are quite numerous. Bounce, swivel, and you notice I'm just on this slide because it's highlighted here. If I wanted to click on the chicken here, which is slide number or graphic picture 2, I can just work on that one. Didn't do much. It's teetering. It's transparent. And you can just pick on the picture and animate it to how you wish to have it animated. So take a look at those. And also, you'll notice there's a transition line. The transition menu item is for the entire slide itself. So if I wanted the slide to push in, it'll push in. If I want the slide to wipe across, again, this can be very distracting. I'm only requiring it on 2 slides. Because again, if I have 9 slides here and I'm wiping and splitting, and it gets very distracting. So just pick a slide, whatever slide you want to do it on, and then just pick a transition that you'd like to use that works for your situation. To get to the slideshow, right, we have to go to the slideshow menu bar, and that will be where you start from the beginning on the left here. And if I want to stop, I just hit the escape button, and that brings me back to my slides. So if I want to test a slide, let's say I'm in the middle here and I want to test it, go to the slideshow and then start from the current slide. That's all it is. Once I know it's working, I can just hit the escape and I'm back to my slides again. You can also view, you can add notes if you want to, that's not required. You can check for spelling errors, please do that on your presentation. Once in a while students type, I do too. So watch for spelling errors. And I think that's about it. So you'll be basically working with these center 3 here, transitions, animations, and the slideshow. The last thing I would like to talk about is the design. And here's where that background color comes into play. So if I pick a slide here, right now it's got no background color. But if I right-click, I can apply it just to the selected slide or all slides. So use a right-click, and I'm going to apply just to the selected slide. So that'll change the background color on that slide and that slide only. What I'm looking for on the background color, just again, not every slide has a different background color, just a couple. So you can pick one design, one for all of your slides, and then maybe change 1 or 2 and change the color for those 1 or 2. So that's under the design menu bar. After you've got your submission, at this point, hit the save, obviously. What I'm looking for in Blackboard is to have you submit the PowerPoint itself for the 50 points. What I try to do is follow you. I use this rubric to grade you in class as you're discussing. But obviously sometimes the sound doesn't work on this computer, for instance. It was working. You could hear it as I was going through mine. But maybe yours is set up a little differently. And sometimes it works on my computer as I review them a second time. just to be sure that I'm doing it correctly. Because, again, a lot of the presentations go so quickly, and I'd like to listen to what you're saying, so I have to go back and review them again for a second time. Are there any questions about the PowerPoint presentation? I think I've covered everything. It can be on any topic of interest, the length, the number of slides. Any comments? You're good?
I think so.
Think so? Anybody at home have a question? Oh, I did remember one thing. If you're planning on bringing food, that's okay with me. So, I've had some wonderful egg rolls. I've had some wonderful birthday treats. So, not birthday treats, just cakes. Somebody made tea one time. Tea was her thing. Like a tea set. She didn't bring it, obviously. But she had made some tea. That was her thing. Every 2 o'clock, I think is the time, was tea time. So that was interesting. If you're musically inclined, a lot of people do that. Talk about their guitars or whatever. Somebody even was into the bebop, the background.
Yeah, bebop.
Yeah. So that's what he did for like a side job. So he was part of that. So that was, wow. So there's some really interesting accountants. I even had one accountant that's a bass player for, his name is Jason, Johnny Watt, which is a band in Green Bay, local band. He's the bass player for that group. He's an actual accounting student. So he does taxes on the side, plus the band. So it's interesting. But anyway, so like I said, it's probably one of my most favorite times of the year. So I'm looking forward to it. Good. Well, if you don't have any questions, I'll stop here. What does that mean for the next 3 weeks? Well, today obviously is a work day. Pardon?
And that's it.
The net solution.
That's solutions, yes. So I will be here every week, but you don't have to. But for the next 2 weeks for sure, the 23rd and the 30th, right, are going to be work days.
Awesome.
So come when you want. I mean, if 9 o'clock or 8:30 is not your thing, you can certainly come in at 9, 10, 11, whatever you want. If you have a couple questions that you just need answered, that's fine. Just come in whenever. I have most of you in managerial, some of you in managerial too. If you want to wait till then, that's fine as well. So no more 8:30s, other than the presentation day. We do have to get started on that day. Okay, so. The final, one other thing I forgot. Sorry, I keep adding things here. If you remember on your syllabus, I have this thing called employability skills document. The school, the state of Wisconsin, wants to measure how employable you are. How are your soft skills? Communication, solving problems, working together, of course valuing differences in ability and so forth. Demonstrate personal accountability. That's something I do. So on May 14th or by May 14th, I hope, depends on how much correcting I need to get done, I hope within that week, let's say, I will be posting that to your grade book. It's worth 25 points. I mean, it's not going to make your grade go up or down significantly, but it is a document that I not only grade quantitatively, I also will make comments, things that I've seen in class throughout the couple of years I've had you. So just take it as it is. I do my best to be objective, and hopefully it's of some work. I've had some students use it as a reference and part of their application or interviewing. So just be aware that that's going to be posted the week of the 14th, which is technically our last week. We are not meeting on the 14th, though. The 7th is your last day. All right? I'm going to stop my recording. If there are any questions at this point, let me know as you go through your Net Solutions project. I want those check figures hit. That's the main goal on that Net Solutions. Do not turn it in with those check figures not hitting. Okay? Thank you.